People often call Donald Trump's career a family business, and it makes sense since almost all his kids are involved in his projects. Even his youngest son, Barron, recently has started showing up at his dad's official events. But have things always been smooth between them all?
I was very, very strict with Don and Ivanka and Eric and Tiffany.
Which of the younger Trumps didn't talk to their father for years? And why does Donald's special bond with Ivanka get criticized?
Has anybody ever heard of Ivanka? People love Ivanka.
Get ready to hear about Trump's relationships with his 5 children from 3 different women. The details will surprise you. Barron Trump. Donald Trump's 5th and youngest child is currently the one drawing the most attention.
You know, I'm not allowed to call them boy, but he is my boy. He's my boy. They're all my boys, right?
Trump even mentioned that Barron could become much more popular than his other sons, and we can't deny it.
Barron, thank you, Barron.
People can't help but notice how much 18-year-old Barron is like his dad now. Not just in appearance, but also in his style and manner of speaking. What's more, he and his father share a common interest in golf. They were recently spotted together on a golf course. Barron sat beside his dad in a golf cart while Donald chatted with the paparazzi. By the way, Trump has been talking a lot about his youngest son lately, and it seems he's very proud of him, especially since Barron has started showing an interest in politics.
He's a little on the tall side, I will tell you. He's a tall one. But he's a good-looking guy, and he's really been a great student. And he does like politics. It's sort of funny. He'll tell me sometimes, Dad, this is what you have to do.
He graduated from Oxbridge Academy in West Palm Beach this May. Trump even missed his own court hearing because, according to him, he was supposed to attend his son's graduation party. And most recently, Barron made his debut appearance at one of his father's campaign rallies in Florida. The audience greeted the 18-year-old boy with applause, and Donald referred to his son as Special Guy.
A very young man who's now going to college, got into every college he wanted to, and he made his choice. And he's a very good guy, I'll tell you.
It was surprising that Barron endorsed his father on the campaign trail. In fact, his mother, Melania Trump, had tried to keep him out of the spotlight for years. That's why she didn't immediately move with him to the White House during Trump's presidency. Barron needed to finish the school year first.
I made the decision. I will be a parent to our boy, to our child.
And I know that the First Lady, Melania, has a big job back in New York taking care of Barron.
Does, yes.
Does it make it a lonely place for you at the end of the day?
No, because I end up working longer, and that's okay.
Donald doesn't hide the fact that work has always been his top priority. There simply wasn't enough time to focus on raising Barron.
I'm not going to be doing the diapers. I'm not going to be making the food. I may never even see the kids, frankly.
No, yo.
Okay? No.
Well, Trump hasn't been very involved in the lives of his other kids either. Donald Trump Jr., the oldest of Trump's children, and today, perhaps his most passionate defender. In fact, he was the first to step up alongside his dad after Donald Trump was found guilty in his hush money trial.
This is a sham, it's insane, and it needs to stop.
The 46-year-old Donald Jr. often compares himself to his father. He's ambitious, driven, and unafraid to engage in controversy, even if it leads to scandal.
I realized I was a lot more like my dad than probably any of us would have thought. You know, when you sort of back us into a corner, we sort of fight the same way. We have that same characteristic.
By the way, people still remember his passion for hunting big game with his brother Eric. Photos surfaced online showing them posing with killed animals, including a leopard and a crocodile. Of course, Trump Jr. faced criticism for these actions, but it seems he doesn't care.
That I like, because I love venison, I love the meat, and like I said, hunting's been good to me. It's kept me out of a lot of other trouble I would have gotten into growing up.
Donald's son also enjoys attacking Trump's enemies. For instance, he confronted Robert De Niro for speaking out against the presidential candidate.
Apparently he needs attention because it's been a while since he's cranked out a good movie.
In 2001, Donald Jr. joined the Trump Organization and served as executive vice president alongside his younger brother.
My son is a wonderful young man, great young man. He's a fine person.
He was also a guest judge on his father's TV show, The Apprentice. The oldest son became a very active spokesperson during Trump's 2016 campaign.
I don't know, my only mission is to get him there because I know he can make a difference.
When Donald Sr. won the election, he even cried.
One of the more surreal moments of my life, other than perhaps the birth of my children. I mean,
Trump Jr. is a father of 5 himself, divorced from his ex-wife Vanessa since 2018. Interestingly, he had a tough time as a kid with his parents' messy divorce. It's well known that Donald Trump cheated on his first wife Ivana with Marla Maples. At the time, their oldest was 12 and refused to speak to his father for several years. To divert attention, Ivana decided to send him to boarding school. Eventually, Donald Jr. took the first step to reconcile with his famous father. Since then, he has expressed gratitude to both Ivana and Donald for everything.
I think you've done an amazing job, and Mom's done an amazing job really getting us to work for anything we ever really wanted in our lives. I think that's why we're successful at what we do today.
Rumor has it that Trump Jr. is the leading candidate to continue his father's political career. Judging by his actions, he seems quite open to this possibility.
Is incredibly popular with the Trump base. He speaks their language. He's a big sportsman, gun advocate.
On the contrary, his younger brother, who is also his business partner, kept a low profile for a long time. Eric Trump. The second son of Donald Trump and his first wife, Ivana, preferred to stay in the shadow of the famous family name. Like his brother, he also had a tough time with his parents' divorce. Eric ended up isolating himself because he couldn't handle all the attention.
People are more critical of you. There are stereotypes. People often call you spoiled because you grow up in a prominent family.
After finishing his education at Georgetown, Eric also began co-managing the Trump Organization. And he approached the business with great responsibility.
I run my foundation based on the principles my father taught me: honesty, integrity, and values.
According to Trump's children, their father began paying more attention to them as they grew older. However, no one seems to hold a grudge. Eric says he's ready to support his dad in anything.
My father has the biggest responsibility of any person, arguably, on the planet. His focus is going to be running this country.
The 40-year-old Eric's known for his manners and calmness compared to Donald. As an example, he displayed politeness and emotional restraint during his father's trial.
I'm just proud of the toughest person I've ever met in my entire life, and I'm proud to have stood there every single second by his side in that freezing cold courtroom. He's an inspiration to me every single day, and he'll be vindicated.
Next to Eric was his wife, producer Lara Trump. They've been married for 10 years and have 2 kids together. Today, Donald's son is stepping into a more public role defending his father, and experts believe he'll shine in his campaign. At the same time, the most famous child of the presidential candidate has decided to take a step back for now. Ivanka Trump. There's a widely held belief that she is Donald Trump's favorite child.
She is a special person. She's
not ruling
smart,
out.
and she's got every quality you can possibly have.
And it has been like that since she was a little girl. Donald would stop all his business negotiations for her.
He would pick up the phone every single time, and he'd put me on speakerphone. Wouldn't be a long conversation. He'd introduce me to whoever was in his office.
Maybe Trump was already preparing his daughter for a big career, because in the end, she became successful.
Ivanka's very much like him in many ways.
Ivanka first tried modeling and eventually launched her own jewelry and fashion lines. However, when Trump decided to run for president, she stepped away from her business.
It's emotional. My father will be president, and hopefully I can be there to support him.
Ivanka focused on helping Trump during the election, and afterward, playing a significant role, especially when Trump faced heavy criticism for his misogynistic statements.
My father has empowered women, including me, his whole life.
Back then, she was referred to as a proto-wife, because Trump had given his older daughter more power than any of his women or colleagues.
What's your reaction, though, when you hear people say, she's going to be essentially the real First Lady?
Well, I think it's an inappropriate observation.
Some even believe that Donald not only has paternal feelings for his daughter. For instance, he has often commented on her appearance.
Said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird!
No matter what Donald says, 42-year-old Ivanka always stands by his side. She describes him as a complex father, but also the best in all aspects of his life.
And I think more people in this business like to hear themselves speak. You really genuinely like to know what people think, and then you dissect it yourself.
Including us.
Including us.
But what's notable is that Ivanka, Trump's strongest ally in his campaign, has decided not to participate this time.
I love my father very much. This time around, I am choosing to prioritize my young children and the private life we are creating as a family. I do not plan to be involved in politics.
Perhaps Trump's youngest daughter will step in to fill her role? Tiffany Trump. For a long time, she was seen as the black sheep of the family. Donald's affair with her mother, Marla Maples, was heavily debated in the media. And when the couple divorced, their daughter was only 5 years old.
She's really a beautiful baby. She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
At that young age, Trump was largely absent from the child's life.
Her father wasn't able to be there with day-to-day skills as a parent. He loves his kids, there's no doubt, but everything was a bit of negotiation.
They saw each other only during holidays, and she rarely visited Donald's office.
Our times together were learning, playing in his office. He would always sneak me down to get a candy bar, in the lobby.
Besides, Tiffany took a different path. She wasn't interested in joining the family business empire. She pursued singing, modeling, and even interned at Vogue while studying at the University of Pennsylvania, her father's alma mater. According to Tiffany, she started spending more time with him after graduating.
I'm so happy to be Tiffany Trump.
Trump's daughter has become a bona fide Instagram star with over 1 million people following her life today. Like Donald's other adult children, Tiffany was also involved in his 2016 election campaign.
He's true to himself, and he speaks in a way that the average person can understand. I think that's refreshing for everyone.
4 years later, she took center stage at the Republican National Convention to advocate for her father's second term. Her speech received special praise from Donald, who called it fantastic.
God has blessed us with unstoppable spirit, his spirit, the American spirit. My dad has proven to be driven by that spirit. He has demonstrated his faith and his uncompromising heart and actions.
But reports suggest Tiffany has no intention of returning to politics. She aims to establish herself as a successful lawyer and could potentially become Trump's trusted legal counsel. In December 2022, the former president proudly walked his daughter down the aisle at his Florida estate. She married Nigerian billionaire Michael Boulos, and in his characteristic style, her father jokingly bellowed to his son-in-law, "You better take care of her." It does seem like Tiffany Trump has developed closer relationships with her siblings, and especially with her sister Ivanka. The Trump family's unity appears strong despite public scrutiny and differences. What's your take on it? And who do you consider the most successful of Trump's kids? Share your thoughts in the comments.